Hi, Terry here. I've been working on a series on how to lose weight and get healthy, and I know it says, "Are you tired of being fat?" And that's kind of where I started at. I'm tired of being fat, and I'm not trying to say you're not still a beautiful person. Matter of fact, I think back when I was young and he was getting set up with someone, you'd say, "What do they look like?" And they'd tell you, "They got a great personality." so if you know what I'm talking about, you know, I'm not running anybody down, because I still look at myself and I'm still overweight. And my next goal, I set goals and stuff to reward myself when I hit a plateau. So I think when I finally get under 200 pounds, my reward, I want to go bungee jumping off one of those really tall bridges. That looks like a lot of fun, and so that might not be a reward. Okay, I understand, but I've been following some guidelines I use for putting the events together. I started off just doing Christian events, and then I started doing other events like taco festivals and things like that. And my next one is going to be a Urban Homestead Expo. But it's a book I had wrote originally just to do outreach, but it has some different principles in it that you can pretty much put to anything you're trying to do in life. And I'm trying to lose weight and get healthy, and I'm doing that by homesteading and things like that. And it does cause me to study a whole lot and things, because I really don't know much about being in good health. I mean, I've even made jokes, you know, healthy food is terrible food and unhealthy food tastes good. And I am guilty as anybody else about liking food that tastes good. Matter of fact, when I had the taco shack, I don't know if any of my food was really healthy. Fried flour, chilled tacos, loaded down with all kinds of goodies, and it was delicious, but I wouldn't exactly call it health food. Even when I made one taco, you know, it was a vegetarian taco. I called it Mary Moon because she's a vegetarian. And even though it was a vegetarian taco, it still had tons of stuff in it that wasn't healthy for you. You know, frying stuff in vegetable oil is not as healthy for you as you think it is, once you learn that most vegetable oil is not all that healthy. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about stewardship and how to use that to lose weight. And you're thinking, well, man, how am I going to use stewardship? Because a lot of times, any of the things we try to lose weight costs a lot of money. I mean, if you're like me, you've spent money on this and that because it promises that you're going to lose weight, and maybe you did, maybe you didn't for a little bit, but it just was either too expensive or you couldn't keep doing it. And even the places where you buy a meal plan, yeah, you'll lose weight, because if that's all you're eating and you're going by what they're telling you to eat, it is you're spending a lot of money on something. If you did it yourself and you put it together, you'd be way less expensive. And if you're like me, if you buy that, you're gonna lose weight because you don't have no more money left. You just spent it all. So stewardship is a big thing on it. And then you guys start thinking, well, what can I do and be a good steward with what I have? Well, for one, you know how much money you make or how much money you have. You know all that. You know how much you can spend. And I would think a way to do good stewardship is to figure out how you can get that number down and still get the achieved goal you're trying to get to. So if you're wanting to eat more organic vegetables, which is way healthier than eating vegetables that's been sprayed with pesticides and herbicides all its life, and then they wash it off, packages it, and gives it to you, because that stuff is actually in the vegetable. it went in through the roots just like with the water it took in, and it helped nourish that vegetable up to health, and now it's in you. And that stuff all has inflammatories in it. Inflammatories is stuff that inflames your body, and it stops the stuff that your body does naturally to get rid of the fat and burn it and everything, and it causes all kinds of problems with your body too. So if you was wanting to be a good steward with that, you think, well, man, it costs more to buy organic, and it does, but is it worth it? Or is it worth the money that you're spending on all the medication that you have to take because you're eating unhealthy? Is it worth having to buy more clothes because you can't fit in your old ones? To me, it'd be worth spending the money on the better quality food and spending money on smaller clothes, because you are eventually going to get in better health. Now, I can't guarantee it's going to cure everything that you have, but I am really hoping it gets rid of all the stuff I have. I mean, I would love to not have type 2 diabetes. And I didn't have that until I got too fat. I'd love to not have high blood pressure. And I didn't have that until I got too fat. I'd love not to have to put a CPAP machine on at night to breathe when I sleep. But I didn't have to do that when I was skinny. Once I got too fat, I had to do all those things. So long term, spending that extra money on quality foods is going to be better for me. Now you go to the meat. Man, it's hard to even trust it. They said this beef is all grass-fed. I've been reading online, it's really not all grass-fed. They did feed that cow grass, but, they also fed it all that other stuff. So, only grass-fed is, I seen on one channel, it said, on one YouTube channel, it said, 90% of that stuff is false. It really isn't all grass-fed. And you're thinking, well, I eat chicken. Chicken's much healthier. Not really. I mean, you say, well, I eat only free-range chicken. Well, why does that make it healthier? Because it's free-range. Free-range, they are actually finding that those are the birds that's mostly getting like diseases like bird flu and all that stuff, because they're free range. They're eating and drinking out there with the wild birds and stuff, and if they have a pond or something, they're drinking out of that pond. And the wild geese is really big carriers of that stuff. They come down, they drink out of that pond, and they do other things in that pond, and that makes it kind of gross to even eat something that eats out of that pond. But anyway, stewardship is looking at what you have and how to achieve more with the less. And you need to weigh all that stuff. I mean, the reason a lot of these diets work when you're measuring everything out and everything is because you're taking time with your brain to put into what you need to do to get better. And as long as you're focusing on it, you're doing well. Well, if you're like me, you stop focusing on it for a second, you're thinking, man, sure would like a pile of donuts. And before long, we lost all focus on losing weight. And my weight does go up and down 5 or 10 pounds all the time anyway, because I have, I guess, the worst metabolism in the world. But on the weekends, I splurge a little bit more on what I eat, and then all week long I work it off. And I do more exercising than I used to do, but I still don't do a lot of exercising. The exercising gives you the good cholesterol that you need. But this is about stewardship, not on exercising. So start focusing on the ways that you can do this and do it for less. And what's the best use of your money? Is it buying Ozempic? I don't know. I mean, I'm not knocking you if that's working for you, because if it's working for you, it's working for you on losing weight. I don't know how well it's working for you on your health, though, because the stuff has synthetic Gila monster venom. And I know now I sound like a whack job. Google it. Just say, hey, does Ozempic have, synthetic Gila monster venom in it? It'll pop right up. So I'm not trying to scare you away from anything. But if your goal, like mine, in losing weight is also being in better health, watch how you do it. Because, I don't want to just be skinny in my casket. I'd like to be skinny because my knees won't hurt so bad going up and down steps. Hey, we are all in this together, and I am pulling for you. Maybe try growing some of your own vegetables, because then it's organic. And it is cheaper once you figure it out. And it ain't so cheap for me right now because, I'm still not doing real well at it, but I'm learning. I'm always learning. And if you're on this journey, you can start learning too. We're all in this together, and I'm pulling for you. God bless.